We played a little bit of Dan Quinn's sound from earlier in the show, and if you missed it, I'll play what he said about the kicking competition and about Jaden and the preseason games. But this was Quinn earlier this morning talking about the two running backs, Katron Allen and Robert Henry Jr., from their performance Friday night against the Dolphins.
And what have you seen from the two rookies beyond the preseason game, Katron and Robert?
Yep. Yeah, I like a number of things. Like, they're different in terms of play style, but they're both eager in terms of how they want to do things. You know, can they make an impact on special teams? So seeing Rob on the return side, seeing Katron as a lead blocker and the kickoff return side, I thought they've made an improvement in pass protection. So that's the stuff. And although Katron had a drop, I thought, in the game, like, he's got really good hands. He's demonstrated both of them can catch. And so that's a big deal because now they're well-rounded guys. They've got pass protection down. They both got good hands coming out of the backfield. And so there's more reps and get them a chance to go do it.
Yeah, he did drop a pass, but that was not an issue for him at Penn State. Robert Henry Jr., we talked about his performance on the show yesterday. You know, it's very clear, given the number of touches he got, as a running back, 12 carries for 75 yards. And then the fact that they had him both on kickoff and on punt returns. There was a sense that this guy he's got something, and we got to see if he can do it on special teams as well. They put Jerome Ford on the injured list. Right now, Jeremy McNichols is banged up and on the injured list. They signed Craig Reynolds from Detroit. I guess there's a possibility that the four backs on opening day could be Bill Krosky-Merritt, Rashad White, Katron Allen, and Robert Henry Jr., with Robert Henry Jr. potentially being a guy that starts on kickoff returns. If they'd have four backs active on game day, that seems like a bit of a reach. But Ford really, I thought, as much as you can, get anything out of a preseason environment, it was very clear he's a very natural zone runner. He's patient. He's got excellent vision. He's got burst. He's got really good feet. He's got a really good cut and then followed with a burst once he sees it. And I think Katron Allen, I liked him at Penn State, and this is one preseason game. I'm surprised that there's no way any back in the league got 23 carries in the preseason. Did Katron Allen lead the league in carries over the weekend? That may be a hard thing to do without going box score by box score. But 23 carries in a preseason game is insane. Why did he get all those carries? They wanted to see something from him too. I don't know if this is a battle for a spot on the team, but I certainly wouldn't be beholden to a sixth-round pick if I thought that the undrafted player was better. I mean, we're not talking about protecting a second or a third rounder. Katron Allen was picked in the sixth round. I like Allen, though. And they're seeing these guys every day in practice. But the fact that Henry got that, opportunity, got 12 carries, and then got the kick and punt returns that he got, tells you that they wanted to see this guy under the lights to see if he could do it, in a game atmosphere. And, the other part of that is with all of the different guys back there on kickoff returns, and it's not like they had a bunch. Jerome Ford was back on one. Henry was back on another. The Dolphins only scored once on the opening drive and then had the kickoff to start the second half. But you wonder if they're also looking, because there's a plan maybe to move on from McCaffrey. This was Quinn talking about that early defense against Miami and what he wants to do to correct it.
I know you guys weren't happy with the first defensive drive from the preseason game.
Correct.
What did you see from that? What do you want to correct this week?
I just didn't love kind of the urgency that we played with. Just wasn't like as downhill and aggressive that I saw from the practice. And so I wanted to see more of that. So, third downs, obviously, allowed a conversion. So It just didn't feel as violent and as strong as I'd like to see from the unit overall. And then offensively, I didn't love the way we started the second half. Like we had a real chance to do some things. We scored, got to stop. Then having the ball to go back, man, like could have went up big into that space and had to punt. So those are 2 points of emphasis for sure. Like starting both halves, being aggressive.
If you missed what he said about the kickers, we played it right at the beginning of the show, but Drew Stevens is their guy. Jake Moody was released. Here's what he said about the competition here in training camp being won by Drew Stevens.
You guys released Jake Moody.
Yeah.
I don't know if that definitively means Drew Stevens is the kicker, but what about Drew Stevens has impressed you this camp?
Yeah, and I thought this was a good competition all the way back from the spring when we had here. We kicked just about every day from the spring and like 2 out of 3 days in these blocks for training camp. And both guys I thought have had, productive days, but I thought Drew established himself. Thought he's kicking it, pure and clean. And so it is important for him to have the next 2 games where he gets all the kicks, all the moments. And so it was just a good competition. I thought, earned it. And so we're moving forward.
Love to see on Saturday, a 4th and 7, 4th and 8 at the Detroit 47-yard line. I'd love to see him trot out Stevens for like a 64-yarder. Why not? Indoors, preseason, doesn't matter. Let's just see the leg. Or maybe they're hiding it, but I don't think they can hide Drew Stevens. Everybody knows he had a big leg coming out. There will be a lot of pressure on Drew Stevens when we get to the 13th, and it does appear, based on what I've heard, that this is their move. Unless he completely soils himself in these final 2 preseason games, or God forbid gets injured, he's going to be the kicker on opening day in Philadelphia. This was Quinn, and we played this and talked about it earlier, but if you missed it, he was asked about Jaden playing in the preseason.
What you've seen with Jaden Daniels, would you be comfortable if he plays 0 preseason snaps?
Yes, I'd be comfortable with like him and other veterans that have played to go, but yeah, we haven't decided in terms of like will we or won't we. We had a joint last week. He got a lot of reps. He'll get a lot today and tomorrow going against our defense, so I'll have a better sense for where everybody is before we make any of those decisions. But he's thrown like an incredible training camp. His accuracy, his command of it, a new system, you wouldn't feel like that for him. But I've been like certainly impressed by what I've seen so far by him.
Certainly seems to be leading towards Jaden Daniels not playing in the preseason, and maybe other veteran starters as well. Rome writes, DQ will get them in that space to go. That's how he gets down. Everybody getting ops. Yeah, sounds just like Dan Quinn. Thank you, Rome, for that.